Hello all of you beautiful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and today I've got a super special sequels list for you today, as it is time to dive into development hell once more and take a look at 5 more games that took absolutely ages. You know, that sort of like, let's just leave it in the oven for a bit longer. Oh, is it ready? Yeah, no, it needs a bit longer. Flip it over a bit. Put a bit of water on it just to chill it out for a bit. Oh, it's burnt. Oh, it's burnt to a crisp now, and it's terrible. Are we still going to serve this? Apparently so. Fantastic. Or as I should really say, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 5 more video games that escaped development hell and turned out terrible. Enjoy. Number 5. Ultima 9 Ascension. When you've got a game so infamous that it actually killed a series, you know it probably wasn't worth the wait. But in all fairness, the Ultimate series was on a bit of a downward turn well before the release of the 9th mainline installment, with Ultima 8's weak sales being the writing on the wall for many. Still, developers Origin Systems plodded on and eventually released Ultima 9 Ascension in 1999, which unfortunately was even less well received than the prior game and sold even less than 8, with only 75,000 copies shifted in a year. That, for such a long-running series, was the death knell and put the series on ice. Critics claimed that for a game that started development in the early 90s, Ultima 9 felt like an absolute relic in terms of design and user interface, and was a plodding mess of baffling ideas that seemed to alienate the hardcore fans, even presenting a plot that literally made no canonical sense. The developers had tried to widen the net for the more casual audience with this game, but ended up sinking along with the entire franchise. Number 4. Katana. Nothing will be as funny as looking back at the promotional material for this game that promised to make us John Romero's bitch, and then seeing the absolute dog's dinner that he actually served players, making him out to be the biggest pedigree chump of the lot. Katana was a troubled production from start to finish, which in all took 5 years to complete. Across that time, nearly the entire staff left, money woes caused delays, and scheduling conflicts with other titles caused further pushback. Now, 5 years is a long time. In fact, you could easily master another language, 2 even. You could renovate an entire house from scratch. Hell, you could probably build a better game than this I saw in that time. In all that time, it seems that the rotating door of staff wasn't able to code a single level correctly, with AI that was utterly brain-dead, insane glitches that could see you falling through the map, and weapons that made just no sense whatsoever. It appeared that the bitch maker Romero and his team had spent 5 years filling doggy bags with their own guff, and when this mongrel of a game was finally released, it was put down quickly. Number 3. Star Trek Online. Beginning life in 2004, Star Trek Online was of great interest to fans of the property. The chance to explore the known galaxy and beyond with friends, take on hordes of aliens 1 minute and then use diplomatic negotiations the next? Sign me up, Scotty. Well, in fact, sign me up seemed to be the main focus of this game, as developer Arc Games ran into a huge problem when trying to get their title to consoles, which in turn caused massive delays. The issue is that they wanted to charge people for the base game and then a monthly subscription fee on top of this, which is a pretty common feature for MMORPGs, but they were unprepared to accept the expensive sub fees that the likes of Microsoft and Sony charge for this feature to be enabled. And the back and forth meant that Star Trek Online ended up with a lengthy 6-year gestation. In that time, interest in the game cooled, as did the passion from the devs themselves, who rolled out a lackluster beta much later than promised and didn't update the game much for many years after. While it is in a much better state now, the rather boring main content did nothing to stoke the fires for anyone other than uber Trekkies. Number 2. APB All Points Bulletin. Now, you might have played APB and thought to yourself, oh come on, it's not that bad, and you know what? You'd actually be right. The MMO/GTA formula was a ton of fun to play, but the game that we all have relatively fond memories of was actually this game's second iteration, known as APB Reloaded. In the original form, APB was beset with developmental woes that were just not helped at all by a ballooning budget which reached a whopping $100 million, making it one of the most costly video games in existence. So why did it take so long? Well, aside from the usual issues with tech and figuring out which platform to release on, the developers decided to take a little detour. And by that, I mean that they went and made Crackdown. Yes, that's right, they decided to just make another game when they were supposed to be focused on this one. Still, with 5 years in development and this amount of money behind you, you would expect an absolute banger, right? Well, take a wild guess as to what happened. Slated by critics and fans not only for its sheer jank rank factor, but also the weird insistence of a review embargo that lifted a week after launch, people were not kind to a game that was clearly not confident in itself. The rapid decline meant that only a short time later, APB was shut down and then finally resurrected as a free-to-play title with a lot more success. And number 1, Ride to Hell Retribution. Just why? Why couldn't this game have stayed in development hell? Actually, scrap that question. How in the name of God did this absolute burning pile of dead ideas and outdated designs actually take more than a weekend to throw together? How did it take 5 years to make and still look like somebody took the Photoshop smudge tool to an old PS2 game? It is so utterly baffling that this much time was taken to kick out something so incredibly cheap feeling, and yet here we are. What else can be said about the game which has managed to top so many worst games of all time lists? I just wish I could send the bastard straight back to hell first class, because in the conversation of games as art, this is a fish-laced burp in the face of anyone listening. An absolute train wreck, bury it deep. And there we go, my friends. That was 5 more video games that escaped development hell and turned out terrible. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, you can go over to Twitter and follow me there at RetroJ, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. It's my personal gaming channel where I stream every single Wednesday and Sunday. It'd be great to see you over there. But before I go, my friends, I just want to say one thing. Even though sometimes in life we can feel like we're going through our own version of development hell, those long stretches of pure unfairness and negative emotions, please do not take that out on yourself. You deserve love, happiness, and success, my friend. We all do as human beings. So treat yourself with a bit of compassion and a bit of fairness. You're not the bad guy in your own story. You, my friend, are a big ledge, and I hope that whatever you get up to today, you go out there and absolutely smash it. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Hello there, I am the second best Ewan to be involved with Star Wars, and this is WhatCulture, your one-stop shop.
Ewan,
yeah, what?
We're not calling it that. What? Changed it.
What we change it to?
WhatCulture Star Wars, just SEO, isn't it? So.
I suppose you are right. Well, hello there again, and welcome to WhatCulture Star Wars, a brand new channel dedicated to exploring the galaxy far, far away in the classic WhatCulture style. We got lists, we got news, we got editorials, we've got ups and downs, and just like the big yellow text said earlier, we'll be covering everything to do with Star Wars, past, present, and future. It doesn't matter whether you're a prequels kind of person, an original trilogy purist, or if you just really love the sequels. If you love Star Wars, this will be a safe, positive space to come and relax, chug some blue milk, and maybe even have a death stick or two, and yeah, just have a good time. We'll be kicking things off with weekly reviews of the upcoming season of The Mandalorian, and have already got a selection of Star Wars themed playlists for you to enjoy based on content that's already online at WhatCulture Gaming and WhatCulture to keep you entertained in the meantime, while we transform this place from a Death Star to Return of the Jedi looking half thing into something more ominous and Starkiller looking, like the base, like Ilum with the big gun out. We don't have a gun. In the meantime, it would be very droopy McCool of you if you could subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media so you don't miss any of our uploads going forward. That's all for now though. I've been Ewan, and until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye!